Hello, darkness, my old friend. You've come to talk with me again. Sens lose 5-4 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. 5 in a row! They lost to the Leafs! They're in last place! They blew another game! What am I even supposed to say or do anymore? They lose all the time. It seems like they can never figure out a way to actually win winnable games. Oh, we outplayed the other team? Nah, we'll get shut out. That way we can't win. Oh, we're tied in the third period? Nah, we'll break down defensively and give up an easy goal to lose. They're now 4 points behind second last, and New Jersey holds the game in hand on the Sens. You're welcome, Colorado. As always though, let's kick things off with lineup changes. It was a busy day for the Sens, who made a number of roster moves. First, they made a minor trade by sending Max McCormick to Colorado for 21-year-old center Jean-Christophe Beaudin. Beaudin is in his second season of pro hockey, splitting time between the AHL and the ECHL. In the AHL, he has 76 games played and 8 goals and 20 points, and in the ECHL, he has 30 games played and 7 goals and 27 points. The trade moves some minor depth and some cash out of the organization and brings in a young center who maybe one day could crack the Sens lineup. Time will tell whether this trade becomes anything more than a footnote in Sens history. The moves weren't done there though, as the Sens recalled forward Jack Rodewald and defenseman Cody Golobeff from Belleville. Rodewald drew straight into the Sens lineup as Christian Jaros was ruled out with injury and the Sens reverted back to 12 forwards and 6 defensemen. Andy got a second straight start and goal on the first night of a back-to-back, and Cody Golobeff was the lone healthy scratch. Nick Paul was also returned to Belleville after being put on waivers on Sunday and clearing at noon on Monday. With all the roster moves, there was still a game to be played, and in the early going, it looked like a top 5 team against the league's worst team. Not even 2 minutes in, the Sens turn the puck over, and Andy has to make a terrific pad stop to keep the Sens tied at 0. Then less than 7 minutes in, Andy makes an easy save. The Sens don't do anything about the rebound. The Leafs pick it up, and Andy has to make an incredible right pad stop on Nazem Kadri from in tight. The Sens are playing with fire. And not even a minute after that, Ryan Dzingel turns the puck over in the Leafs zone. John Tavares picks it up, chips it off the wall, and Marner and Hyman race in 2-on-1. Chabot is caught in no man's land, tries to lay down to block the pass, can't do it. Marner hits Hyman, he easily taps it in the empty net, and the Leafs lead 1-0. I mean, after all the Leafs' chances early on, doesn't this goal kind of feel deserved? Not even 8 minutes in, the shots are 7-1, and the Leafs lead 1-0. Great. Just great. The Sens try to come back as Pajärvi feeds Pageau on a 2-on-1, but he's robbed by Anderson. With under 3 minutes to go though, Pageau returns the favor. Lajoie starts the breakout and feeds Pageau at the Sens blue line. With the Leafs changing and their D very far apart for some reason, Pageau hits Pajärvi, he races through the middle of the ice untouched, fires a wrister from the hash marks that beats Anderson, and we're tied at 1. Let's be honest, it was a great job by the Sens to take advantage of the Leafs napping, but that's what it was. The Leafs were asleep at the wheel on this goal. A bad line change, but this was more about the defense. When your defenders stand basically at either side of the boards and part the Red Sea, of course Pajärvi's going to come right down the middle and score a goal. Regardless, that's a big goal for the Sens as we get to the first intermission with the game tied at 1. Then early in the second, the Sens score, but they played the Leafs in Toronto, so yeah, it didn't count. Brady Tkachuk tries to bang one in from in tight, it gets through Freddie Anderson's legs, and it's 2-1 Sens. Except you don't fully see the puck cross the goal line, so they call it back, and we're still tied at 1. I joked about how the game was played in Toronto, and it was against the Leafs, so the NHL was never going to count it. But that's what it was. It was a joke. When you look at the play, the NHL actually made the right call. When you see the video from in front of the goal, it looks like the puck might have crossed the goal line. But when you watch the video from above the goal line, you can see that Anderson's pad looks like it kicks the puck out right before it crosses the goal line. It's a tough one. but it seemed like the right call. The hockey gods would make it up to the Sens less than a minute later though, as Bobby Ryan's shot bounces off the stick of Freddie Andersen and then off the face of Nikita Zaitsev, then lands perfectly on the sticker of Ryan Dzingel. He drops it back to Matt Duchene, and with Frederik Andersen flopping around like a fish, Duchene lifts it over him, and the Sens lead 2-1. This time for real, the Sens actually lead 2-1. It was a bit of a lucky one, but after Andersen's last second save a minute earlier, I'll take it. The Sens continue coming, but can't score on a 4-minute power play, and then miss a couple excellent chances with Andersen caught out of position. The missed opportunities would prove costly too, as the Leafs would respond. A lazy clearing attempt by Ceci bounces off the stick of Gauthier, lands on the stick of Janssen. He spins, fires it by Andy, and just like that, the Sens and Leafs are tied at 2. Just so lazy from Ceci. Get the puck and make sure. It's just so lazy and so unacceptable. He had the time, he just didn't take it. And it starts a string the Sens really didn't need to start. Just over 2 minutes later, it's the Austin Matthews show again. Wouldn't it be nice to have a young, first overall pick center with incredible offensive talent? Oh no, we don't need one of those. Here, Colorado, just take a second one. Matthews takes a puck wide in the Sens zone, making Ben Harper look like Bambi on ice and blows by him. He then tries to cut to the middle of the ice. Boro lies down. He toe drags by him before losing the puck briefly. He stops at the side of the Sens zone and waits patiently as the puck bounces around in the feet of Pajot and Harper. It then lands on the stick of Matthews. He quickly fires it by Andersen, and the Leafs lead 3-2. Holy man, the defense on this team stinks. Not even 2 minutes after that, the Sens race in 3-on-2. Dzingel tries to feed Duchene, misses him. The puck comes back the other way. The Leafs have a 3-on-1. Marner toe drags Harper, passes it over to Tavares. He easily taps it in the empty net, and the Leafs lead 4-2. It's a 3-on-1, and Ben Harper attacks the puck carrier. I know you have two guys back checking hard, but neither one of them were close to either Leafs forward. Yes, it was a terrific move by Marner, but Harper should have never been in that position. Every time there's an odd man rush against the Sens, the defenders attack the puck carrier, and the puck ends up in the back of their net. Whatever happened to take away the pass and let the goalie worry about the shot? I guess that's not a thing anymore? Thankfully, the period comes to a close, and the Leafs' onslaught is over. And early in the third, the Sens actually wake up again. Chabot carries the puck into the corner before leaving it for Stone. He sends it in front to Tkachuk. It bounces off Tkachuk's stick, Tavares' skate, then lands on the stick of Chabot, who had cut behind the net and then cut back in front. He cuts across the middle of the ice, fires it through the legs of Andersen, and 40 seconds into the third period, it's 4-3 Leafs. The Sens keep coming and are rewarded for it less than 4 minutes later. Pajärvi wins a race for the puck in the Leafs zone and leaves it for Pajot. He goes around the net and fires a shot towards the goal. It bounces off the leg of Muzzin, goes up in the air, comes down, lands back on Pajot's stick. He sends it back towards the goal. It misses the net, but lands perfectly on the stick of Pajärvi backdoor. He taps it in the empty net, and just like that, we're tied at 4. A bit of a lucky bounce, but the game is tied, so I'll take it. Unfortunately, as is the case with the Sens, they can't keep it that way forever. Hyman and Riley race in 2-on-3. All three Sens players attack Riley at the Sens blue line, so he slides a pass over to Hyman. DeMello moves over to take Hyman, Chabot follows Riley to the net, and Dzingel just quits skating. Hyman sends a pass across, Riley outmuscles Chabot in front, taps in the easy goal, and the Leafs lead 5-4. See, the end result of this goal, I can actually live with that. I'm not overly pleased to see all three players attack the puck carrier at the blue line, but even after that, they were still in fine position. DeMello had the puck carrier, and Chabot had the guy go into the net. If Dzingel keeps skating, he can play the middle of the ice and try to take away the pass, but he doesn't do that, which is frustrating. Why quit skating? From there, I thought DeMello did a good job of getting stick on puck, but you've got to give Hyman credit for getting that pass across. As for the Chabot play, that's a classic case of man against boys. Riley is nearly 25, has almost 6 full seasons of NHL experience, playing almost 450 games. Chabot is freshly turned 22, is in his first full season in the NHL after splitting time between Ottawa and Belleville last year, and just passed his 100th NHL game. Him losing that battle to Riley isn't all that surprising. And in the years to come, when Chabot fills out his body and becomes a man in the NHL, he won't lose those battles anymore. Unfortunately, we're not there yet. He lost his battle on this goal, and it cost the Sens the tie. The most frustrating thing is, when the goal went in, I couldn't help but thinking, it's just too easy. The first goal was a tap-in. The second was a result of a turnover right in front of your goal. The third was a loose puck that none of the Sens seemed to want. The fourth was a tap-in. And the fifth was a tap-in. 3 of the easiest tap-in goals you will ever see. It just can't be that easy. The Sens try to make a comeback, but can't beat Anderson, and the Leafs escape with a 5-4 win. And the losing streak is up to 5 in a row. Let's just get into good news, bad news. Ottawa's depth came through offensively, and that is good news. 2 goals from Payarvi, 2 assists from Pajot, 1 assist from Smith, and 1 assist from Lajoie. Payarvi has 7 goals in 51 games this season, including 4 in his last 6. But prior to that stretch, he had just 3 goals in his first 45 games. Pajot's 2 assists were his first 2 assists of the season in his 11th game. It was Smith's first point in 4 games, and Lajoie's second in 3 games after going 13 straight without a point. If the Sens want to win games, they're going to need their depth to come through. Earlier in the season, when things were going well, or at least much better than they are now, that depth was scoring. That's not the case now. But their depth came through last night, and that is good news. Now, for the bad news. The Sens' defensive core is not good enough defensively, and that is the bad news. Like I mentioned earlier, it was just too easy for the Leafs last night. Odd man rushes and lost puck battles, laziness, and an inability to defend the odd man rush. It seems like no matter which defensive pair is on the ice, it's an adventure to say the least. The Chabot and DeMello pair haven't been terrible this season. In fact, they've easily been the Sens' best defensive pair, and even they were victimized twice last night. Ceci and Lajoie just plain and simply cannot play in their own end. And Harper and Boro? Don't even get me started. That pair is extremely ineffective and needs to be split up. They are way too slow, and Boro's step up and hit people style, it doesn't fit well with Harper. Harper has been taken to the woodshed a couple of times this season. There was a play in Dallas where he had his ankles broken, and then last night, as Matthews blew by him, he couldn't even stay on his feet. Ottawa needs to do something about this defensive core, because as it stands now, it's not nearly good enough defensively, and that is the bad news. Next up, the Sens return to action tonight when they welcome the Anaheim Ducks to town. The Sens come into the contest with a perfect 1-0 record against the Ducks so far this season, having won 2-1 in Anaheim on January 9th. Since then, the Sens are 3-6, while the Ducks are just 2-7-1. The Sens have lost 5 straight while being outscored 18-11, and the Ducks have lost 5 in a row of their own, but they've been outscored 27-6 in that span. The contest will be a battle of which team sucks less. It'll be a riveting affair. Hopefully Ottawa's just a little less bad. See you later tonight.